I never thought I'd say this, but my iPad mini is low-key replacing my Nintendo Switch. In fact, I haven't turned this guy on in months, ever since I started playing games on my iPad mini, pretty much exclusively at this point. When you think of iPad games, or at least when I've thought about iPad games for years, I feel like I think about games with a ton of microtransactions, don't have a lot of content. They're just kind of like, you see an ad every couple of minutes and it's always encouraging you to spend more money. But I have found recently, within the last couple of years or so, Apple Arcade has got a giant glow up, and I'm noticing that a lot of the games that are in the Apple Store or Apple Arcade specifically rival or are the exact same games as games I would find on Nintendo Switch. Games with a ton of content, games that you don't have to pay any additional things for inside the game, games that there aren't any microtransactions at all, games that you can play for hours and hours and hours at a time. And I find that a lot of people have iPads already before they even have a Nintendo Switch. So if you're someone who's just like thinking about getting into cozy gaming, I would suggest trying these 5 games before you run out and buy a Nintendo Switch. The first game I want to talk about is Hello Kitty Island Adventure. This, I think, could be my favorite game of all time. I'm obsessed with it right now. Not only is it super cute if you like Sanrio characters, it's got that like gorgeous Sanrio theme with all of the characters being those like Hello Kitty classic characters that are super, super cute. But it is a really full-fledged game. This reminds me a lot of like Animal Crossing, both in the graphics and in the style of game, but it reminds me also of games like Stardew Valley and Disney Dreamlight Valley, which we'll talk about in a second, because it has a ton of quests and things that you can do and complete in the game, and it has a full world that you get pretty much right out the gate to explore at your leisure. You can jump around and do a bunch of things while you're there. Tons of characters. It's kind of like you are a character that falls out of a plane onto this island, and you are restoring this theme park, and you're making friends along the way. You're getting them gifts, you're getting to know them better, and you are actually exploring the island. Part of the map is kind of blocked off when you first start, and you get to kind of expand it bigger and bigger. It's a pretty large world. I think you're going to be so surprised if you've never played an iPad game before that it can get like this on an iPad. I recommend the iPad mini because I think you can do a lot of stuff with the iPad mini, and it's a good like console size. They're very similar in size, I find, the Nintendo Switch and the mini, and I find the UI and the ability to move around is really easy with this because it's super light. I think you're able to like use the controls with both of your thumbs just the same way that you would with a Nintendo Switch, and Hello Kitty Island Adventure could not be more fun. You can customize your character, you can change the colors, you can unlock more customization as you go on. There's farming, there's crafting, and there's a lot of quests and a ton of content. I have not run out of content, and this game has been out for years. It actually just came out for a Nintendo Switch this last week, and it is the same game. So I think this is a good one. If you've never played an iPad game, this is my first recommendation for sure, and I think you would like it even if you're not a Hello Kitty fan, if you appreciate kind of cute things. The other nice thing about this game, and most of the games we're going to talk about, is that you can save it, so you're able to build on top of your island every time. It's not like you're going back to the beginning every time you open up your iPad game, which I know happens if you have ever tried using like Xbox games on your iPad. Don't do that. This is way better. And you're also able to kind of sync them across all of your Apple devices. So if you wanted to play on your iPad and then maybe you want to play on your MacBook and you want to play on your phone, you're able to do that with the cloud save feature, which is really nice. The next game I'm going to recommend is another cozy life sim kind of vibe. A lot of these games are going to be that because that's my favorite genre of game, and it's Disney Dreamlight Valley. And if you have not played this game before, I'm super jealous because it's so much fun. It's been out for kind of a while, and it's a similar kind of vibe. You're restoring Disney Dreamlight Valley, and the characters are Disney and Pixar characters, and there is so much content in this game. I believe the arcade version, which is the kind that you would get on your iPad, is the full base version and 2 additional packs on top of it. So you're gonna have content for a very long time. You're able to fully customize your character, and then you're able to interact with all of these like very fledged out characters that you're gonna be very familiar with because they're your nostalgic nostalgic characters, Mickey, Minnie, and then all the new ones too, like Moana, Ursula, like Frozen characters. It's very, very cute. It's really fun. You're gonna be able to actually build relationships. It is a lot of farming. The world is huge, so you're able to kind of like explore at your leisure. Again, this is another one where you can play on your iPad, you can play on your Mac, you can play on your phone, and you are never gonna run out of content with this one. This is another one where you can follow the quest and you can also do a ton of building and customization in your neighborhood. Disney Dreamlight Valley is a really fun game, and I do find that playing on the Switch and playing on my iPad are really similar. So I do go for my iPad more often because the screen is a little bit bigger and the graphics on this are so beautiful. I feel like the larger screen kind of helps me feel a little bit more immersed in the world. So this is a really fun one. And again, you really can't beat it that all of these games you're able to download with that one blanket Apple Arcade price. To me, I feel like you can't beat it. The next game I have talked about a million times is Wylde Flowers. This is one of the best storytelling games I maybe have ever seen. The entire thing is fully voice acted and it's a full story. It's completed, so if you're like a completionist gamer, you're gonna be able to get to the end of this. And I think they are coming out with new games, so as soon as they are, you know I'm gonna be first in line to grab them. But on this one, you're not restoring anything actually. You are a character that's going to this island to assist your grandmother who is sick, and you're finding out things about her and your family, and you're meeting all of the neighbors on this island and becoming a part of their kind of society. So there is farming, there's a lot of people to meet, and again, like it's fully voice acted, so you are really immersed. It's almost like watching a movie that you can play in real time, and there are some witchy elements too. So this is like cottagecore witchy elements, and you're going to be able to unlock kind of both sides and be able to have this like full-fledged gorgeous little game. It reminds me of like reading a cozy little book. There's like elements of romance. It's just like, if you're someone who's a reader, I think that you would really like Wylde Flowers, and I recommend this a lot as game for someone who wants to get into gaming, who really likes to read, if that makes sense. And once you play it, I think you're gonna get exactly what I mean. This is a really fun game, and again, right included with that Apple Arcade price, I don't think you can beat it. The next game is newer to me, but has been out for a while. It's Tamagotchi Adventure Kingdom, and it's another one of those kind of quest, cozy sim games, but it feels a little bit more old school because you do have like these Tamagotchi characters. If you were into Tamagotchi as a kid, it's very nostalgic and cute. The art style, I think, is really fun, and you are guided through a really, really cute storyline, I think, as well. In the beginning, the world is ginormous. I think you're gonna get lost sometimes, but they do have a map. The UI on all of these games are pretty similar, and I think pretty friendly to use. So you don't have to feel like you're overwhelmed when you're playing these games. I think this one is a really cute one. I think that this one is probably going to be many, 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 many hours of play. And instead of just raising a pet, you do get this like entire world to take care of, which I think is pretty cool. And finally, you can talk about iPad games without talking about some sort of restaurant manager game. And this one, Good Pizza, Great Pizza, is better than any restaurant game you've probably ever played. It's again another one with no micro kind of transactions in there. You are playing like a full-fledged game. I'm pretty sure this is another game that's available for Switch, and they're coming out with a coffee version soon that I'm very, very excited about. But this one is a little bit more than a restaurant game in that it has storytelling aspects to it as well. You have like unique customers that come in and unique orders. It starts out really, really simple, and the levels kind of build. There's a storyline that you're following throughout the whole thing, and the graphics and the art is really, really, really cute. This one's another one that I feel like if you're a reader, you would like this game because there's a ton of like the storytelling aspects and a lot of immersion, but you're able to also make the food, which is like the most satisfying thing I find to do on an iPad. I like to play this game with an Apple Pencil. Just make sure you turn off scribble, so when you tap around, it is super satisfying. If you've ever seen those like TikTok lives of people playing games, you've probably seen them play Good Pizza, Great Pizza, because it's just one of those like extremely satisfying, cozy games to play. Anyways, those are my top 5 to get you started. Let me know if you try any of these games and what you think down below, or if you have any recommendations, let me know that down below too. I could talk about iPad games for literally ever, so if you want a larger list over time, I'm happy to try more games and like do little reviews, because I mean, for research, I play these games every day. And I think they're so much fun. And I do honestly use my iPad mini more than I use my Switch. And these days, when I think about like making your money go a little farther, I'm more apt to recommend a device like an iPad mini that does a little bit more than you can do on a Switch, especially if you're someone who's more of a casual gamer than someone who's like really committed to spending many hours playing games, if that makes sense. So let me know kind of what your vibes are, what kind of games you like to play, and if you want to see more of these, I'm happy to do them. I will catch you next time. Bye.